Hello and welcome back to another video today. This is an exciting one. I'm going to be telling you what I am purchasing in March. Okay, so if we have a quick look at how the market has done over the last month, we can see the S&P 500 is down 5.5%, the Dow Jones down 4.9%, the Nasdaq down a heavy 8.5%. If you're a FTSE 100 investor, you're doing all right. I mean, you might have even been up at one point. Yeah, you might have been up at 1.6% last week. Um, but yeah, that's a quick overview of the market. Let's have a look at the portfolio. So it's not pretty reading. I mean, we've come down off all-time highs of 5.6k. I have invested an extra £200 as well, so we could be up. We should have been up closer to £6,000. But as you can see, we're down £600 or 12%. So outperforming the market the wrong way this month, and that is mainly due to my Tesla position dropping 30% in the last month and probably 50% now off of all-time highs. With hindsight, it would have been great to have taken some gains off the top, but you never know with these things. It's still up 53%, so it's a good investment. I just, maybe am I just thinking negatively because the market thinks negatively? My original thesis was at $166, which is my cost basis. Not a lot could go wrong. That still could be the case. If it goes below 166, I'm going to be very disappointed in myself, but for leaving all these gains on the table. But I think this one doesn't really trade on anything other than on news. So you know what I'm getting myself into. But for portfolio management, I need to reduce its percentage, which I think will happen over time. Currently, it's still about 17%. Yeah, 17.2% of the entire portfolio, which is just way overweighted. Because it's weighted at 17.2%, I haven't beaten the market. If it was one of my smaller holdings, it has less effect overall, but I've let this one grow way too big. I should have trimmed, kept it below 10%. I'd like most of these stocks to be below 10% if I can help it, but I'm not going to rush to add stocks to the portfolio unless I really want to be honest. There's a lot of companies out there that I'm interested in. I've got quite a big watch list, I think, of companies that I'm interested in. All of these companies I think will outperform the S&P 500. So by not owning them, if I don't own a company, it's because I don't think it will outperform the S&P 500. If it's in the watch list, it's because I'm waiting for a better price. I said last time 180 is my sort of attack price at Amazon. I might live to regret that one, but we'll see. Back to the portfolio then. The second biggest position is my Reckitt Benckiser position. This one did have earnings, I believe today. I haven't had time to look at it, but I think it's up up 2% on the day, which is great. And across the month, it's pretty flat, 1%, which beats the S&P 500 by 6%, beats the FTSE by 2%. So that's a good stock for the month. The third stock in the portfolio is Alphabet. This is one that I'm actually going to add to. So let's do that now. I'm going to add a small £50. Oh, not 50 shares. £50 to this one. 0.44 shares. Actually, you know what? Let's make it just around 0.5 shares. £66. Put that in now. Lower my cost basis a tiny bit, a smidge, but every little helps, and that will help, take some of the Tesla overweight down. But then it just adds it to Alphabet, which is also a little bit overweight in my opinion. But I think at this price, I need to be buying. ASML, it also has had earnings recently, which I haven't had time to read. I've just been super busy with work. So I'm not going to invest in this one right now, even though it's right down to my cost basis nearly, other than FX. MasterCard, again, I could add to this one. It's down 2.6% for the month, which for MasterCard, you don't get that very often. So if I had the cash, I could potentially see myself putting it in this one. Booking, I would invest in this one. Again, it's below my cost basis, which I think is an attractive price. But I simply don't, I'm happy with it being a 10% holding right now. It's obviously going to get diluted down a little bit more as I invest in other things, but I'm happy with my cost basis and my value in this one. The next stock, Rent-A-Kill, this one had earnings as well today as of recording, and it is down 10%. So that'll be a fun read. Again, this one, I'm happy with the allocation, not happy with the stock price, but there's still, I'm going to give it another maybe a year for my for the cost synergies for the business takeover to come through. If it can't break into the American market profitably, maybe I'll reevaluate this one. But I mean, even at my cost basis, it's back at what's this, 2019, even the highs of 2018. It was up handsomely, but you know, it is what it is. I'm just going to focus on the thesis on this one. I haven't read the report. I will do shortly. Okay, so the next stock is Salesforce. This is another small one. It's dropped considerably in the last month, down 15%. I'd be happy starting a position at this price, but like I said, I'm happy with the weighting. I want all of my stocks to be between 5 and 10%, not 10 and 15%. So these ones at the bottom that are just small positions, I'm happy to keep them that way. If it drops dramatically and I have the cash, then I may look at buying. And lastly, Money Group. Again, this one has not had a good time. It's basically gone sideways. So it's actually up for the month, so it's outperformed by about 3%. So I can't be too disappointed with that. Obviously, not a great overall return, which hopefully we'll see the green at some point. Okay, so if we have a look at the watch list, then we've got Sports Radar Group. I made a video about this not long ago. It's traded sideways over the month. It is on the NASDAQ, I believe. Is that correct? I might be making that up. It is in the NASDAQ. Okay. So Sports Radar Group is down, according to this, 3.8% over the last month, up 77% over the last 6 months. And this is a stock that I'm going to put a little starter position in today's video. It's currently trading at a 98.4 PE, but this has actually come down quite considerably this week. It's down 5%, down 5% in one day. So I'm happy to start a little speculative position in this one, maybe just 2 shares. Oh no, that's not a lot. 4 shares, £60. Just a tiny position in this one, just to keep track of it, really. If we keep looking down, BAE Classic. I made a video about this one. I'm not sure if I published it or not, which tends to happen. I sort of record my ramblings and then don't want to air it. I was looking at this one down here, and I just was waiting to put this money in, and then it popped 15%. And I think it will come back down again. It was purely a news of British politics that's jumped the stock. It's had no real gains, financially. Greg's not had a good time, down 36%, down 16% in the last month. So those that were looking at £2 a share, was it £20? I've had an absolute shocker there. Like I say, Tesla, Nvidia, what is the PE of Nvidia now? 37. That's looking kind of cheap. As it keeps dropping and raising. Yeah, I mean, it's back to May 2024. All those gains have been wiped out in Nvidia, but they're just slowing down. And I think the more they slow, the lower the stock's going to go, unfortunately, as people pile out of the door. All of these are basically just tech companies. Rolls-Royce had an absolutely stellar month, up 35%. I've got a friend in this one, and he has made so much money on it. Is it getting at the realms of insanity? This revenue isn't growing that quickly. Cash flow, it's turned from negative to positive, which is a good catalyst for stock price movement. All these ones at the bottom, I'm not that interested. JP Morgan, again, story of my life. I was interested in this one at 210, and I thought that was too expensive. I've learnt my lesson there. I just need to trust my gut a bit more. Hence why I'm just investing a speculative, small amount in Sports Radar. I've got a video on that one, so I'll link to it if you're interested in reading about that one. If we look at the tech services watch list, this is not pretty reading in here. Fair Isaac has fallen off massively. It's actually gone sideways in the last month, but the last 3 months, down 23%. So that is getting into the territory of looking good for me. I've got a price alert at 1500. We're a ways off that. Got pretty close at 1.1698. MasterCard, like I said, I could put a little bit more in that, but I'm happy with the weighting in the portfolio. Into it, it's had a big spike. It's coming back down again. Should have bought at 550. Rookie mistake. Is there anything in here that I might be interested in? Moody's, I think it's still trading slightly high for me. It's gone practically sideways across all metrics. Up 22% for the year. ServiceNow, that's had a big sell-off as well, hasn't it? 22%. It's nice to see that one below 1,000. From the turn of the year. CrowdStrike, it's not had a great day either, has it? It's really fallen off. 371 down to 350, down 12% on the month. Okay, so just to wrap things up then, we can see the portfolio has had some ups and downs. We've added a 10th stock to the portfolio at 1.3% weighting, which I'm happy for now, just to leave it at that. And we've got about 1.5% in cash, £70. I'll make a video if I make a move on anything, if anything moves big or I add to anything. But I'm going to try and keep some cash on hand throughout the month, rather than spending it, lump summing it into something at the start of every month, and then sort of twiddling my thumbs until the next time I have cash. Next month, I'm hoping to put maybe £300 in rather than £200, and that will take me up to 4,500 invested for this tax ISA year. That's all for today. Thank you for watching. I hope that was quite rambly, but if you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps the channel. I'm trying to push out more content, but also do it in a way that is fun for me and sustainable. I'd like to hear your thoughts on the portfolio. Don't be too harsh. We're all doing our best. Let me know what your big winners and losers of the month were down below. See you later.